What's causing the struggles for the NFL's 6 teams that have yet to secure a victory? The answers may not be as straightforward as you think. Having recently analyzed the undefeated squads in the NFL in our latest Pick 6 column, we now shift our attention to the 6 teams that are still seeking their first win of the season. The Houston Texans, Miami Dolphins, New Orleans Saints, New York Giants, New York Jets, and Tennessee Titans find themselves combining for a shocking 0-18 record at the start of this season. With at least 2 of these teams guaranteed to extend their losing streak to 0-4, thanks to the Texans facing off against the Titans and the Dolphins hosting the Jets. This analysis will examine these struggling franchises. We will break down their preseason win totals as predicted by Vegas, evaluate their performance across offense, defense, and special teams, and highlight unique challenges they face, supported by visualizations to illustrate their current woes. Curiously, one of these teams has drawn comparisons to the infamous 1922 Louisville Brecks, who suffered the ignominy of being outscored 134-0 in their first 3 games, a notorious mark in NFL history. Houston Texans Vegas win total 9.5, record against spread 0-3, EPA per play 30th on offense, 17th on defense, special teams EPA 3rd. Notable distinction: the Texans are only the 2nd team since 2000 to start a season 0-3 without conceding more than 20 points in any game. Games lost: 14-9 versus Los Angeles Rams, 2019 versus Tampa Bay, 17-10 versus Jacksonville. The Texans are the lone team that participated in the playoffs last season, but finds themselves in an 0-3 hole this year. Team ownership had high hopes for taking significant strides forward during the off-season. However, the adjustments they made appear to be more focused on long-term strategies rather than quick fixes that could yield immediate results. This raises questions about the direction and effectiveness of their approach. With a new offensive coordinator, Nick Caley, who lacked experience in calling plays during games, a learning curve was to be expected. Additionally, significant changes across the offensive line, including trading away star left tackle Laramie Tunsil and revamping 4/5 of their starters, suggest that the new lineup needs time to develop cohesion. They did make positive changes at the receiving positions, but relying on rookies such as Jaden Higgins and Jalen Noel from Iowa State indicated that patience would be necessary before any offensive synergy could manifest. While the Texans show flashes of potential for improvement, they are currently grappling with an offense ranked 30th in EPA per play, down from 25th last season. Without star running back Joe Mixon, the Texans' ground game has struggled, yielding fewer explosive plays and lower success rates overall. There are concerns about third-year quarterback C.J. Stroud, who may be experiencing regression. It's clear the Texans need to bolster their offensive line and skill players around Stroud if they hope to successfully turn things around. Notably, the Texans have been competitive in all their matches, losing in the dying minutes of each. Therefore, they may be on the cusp of a breakthrough, although their preseason playoff expectations seem less attainable now, especially with the Indianapolis Colts soaring at 3-0. Miami Dolphins Vegas win total 7.5, record against spread 1-2, EPA per play 18th on offense, 32nd on defense, special teams EPA 14th. Notable distinction: the Dolphins are the first NFL team since the 1922 Louisville Brecks to allow more than 30 points in each of their first 3 games without forcing a turnover, according to Pro Football Reference. Games lost: 33-8 versus Indianapolis, 33-27 versus New England, 31-21 versus Buffalo. Tua Tagovailoa's performance has been concerning, with both his yards per attempt and explosive pass rate diminishing each season since his breakout in 2022. While much of the focus zeroes in on the offense, it is necessary to highlight the troubling state of the Dolphins' defense as well. Last season, the Dolphins' defense ranked an impressive 7th in defensive EPA per play under first-year coordinator Anthony Weaver. However, their position has plummeted to 32nd place after the opening weeks this season, with an average rank of 22nd since the end of the previous season. This downturn could be attributed in part to facing formidable offenses like Buffalo and an improved Indianapolis. But the loss to New England in Week 2 raised alarming flags as they allowed more than 25 points to a Patriots offense that had struggled previously. What's changed? A staggering 9 key players who logged significant defensive snaps in 2024 are either no longer on the team or have been sidelined with injuries. How this turnover affects the team can't be overstated, and while they once boasted the oldest defensive unit in 2024, they now rank 13th in age, suggesting a fundamental shift is underway. New York Jets Vegas win total, 6.5. Record against spread, 2-1. EPA per play, 25th on offense, 27th on defense. Special teams EPA, 17th. Notable distinction. One of only 17 teams in NFL history to score 69 or more points across their first 3 games without achieving a victory, according to Pro Football Reference. Games lost, 34-32 versus Pittsburgh, 30-10 versus Buffalo, 29-27 versus Tampa Bay. The Jets occupy a unique position, facing 3 future playoff contenders in their first 3 matchups. Impressively, they have managed to score 27 or more points in 2 of these games, a notable feat considering they only accomplished this twice, in the previous season when Aaron Rodgers was their quarterback. While the slim margins of defeat against Pittsburgh and Tampa Bay, totals of just 4 points combined, are troubling, they shouldn't instigate widespread panic among fans. However, the Jets' standing in terms of EPA per play reflects their struggles. They currently rank in the lower tier on both offense and defense, which suggests that their franchise quarterback may not yet be on their roster. Tennessee Titans Vegas win total, 6.5. Record against spread, 1-2. EPA per play, 32nd on offense, 28th on defense. Special teams EPA, 2nd. Notable distinction. The total yardage across their first 3 games, 667 yards, is the lowest in franchise history since the team transitioned from the Houston Oilers, who experienced the coaching change after just 5 games in 1973. Games lost, 20-12 versus Denver, 33-19 versus Los Angeles Rams, 41-20 versus Indianapolis. In a critical moment during the game against Indianapolis, the Titans found themselves trailing 17-6 with merely 42 seconds left in the second quarter, and had a 4th and 1 situation on the Colts' 39-yard line. Following a timeout call by Indianapolis, confusion ensued for Tennessee, leading to an embarrassing delay penalty that altered the intended 57-yard field goal attempt into a 62-yard try that was subsequently blocked. This mismanagement to connect with the kicking team before the play clock expired compounded the frustration for the Titans as they trailed at halftime, ultimately leading to a lost opportunity. Such blunders heighten the pressure on coaches, especially as Tennessee's football operations seem to lack synchronization. The front office, coaching staff, and newly drafted quarterback are experiencing slight misalignments in their timelines, which can complicate things further. The disorganization exhibited during the aforementioned timeout played directly into the latest spate of in-game mishaps that seem to be affecting the Titans' chances. Coach Brian Callahan recently appointed quarterbacks coach Bo Hardegree to take over play-calling duties, which leaves rookie Cam Ward with yet another new offensive coordinator only a few games into his professional career. Definitely an undesirable situation. New York Giants Vegas win total, 5.5. Record against spread, 1-2. EPA per play, 22nd on offense, 30th on defense. Special teams EPA 13th. Notable distinction. The Giants are one of only 10 teams since 2000 that have concluded their first 3 games with more red zone drives resulting in turnovers, 3, compared to touchdowns, 2. Games lost, 21-6 versus Washington, 40-37 versus Dallas, 22-9 versus Kansas City. While the Giants' offensive inconsistencies garner much of the criticism, it's worth noting that their defense is performing even worse this season, allowing touchdowns on 8 of 10 drives within the red zone. Essentially, the entire team is contributing to this dismal 0-3 start. With the transition from Russell Wilson to rookie sensation Jackson Dart at quarterback beginning in Week 4, the Giants will be resetting their strategy moving forward. Fans can brace for some highs and lows, but Dart's emergence introduces an opportunity for change. While victories may still be hard to come by, at least the team should see a spark at what is arguably the most vital position on the field. New Orleans Saints Vegas win total, 4.5, record against spread, 0-3, EPA per play, 23rd on offense, 26th on defense. Special teams EPA, 32nd. Notable distinction. The Saints found themselves trailing Seattle by an average of 25.99 points on a per-play basis in Week 3, marking the worst performance through the first 3 games of the season in any of their 426 games since 2000, according to True Media data. Games lost: 20-13 versus Arizona, 26-21 versus San Francisco, 44-13 versus Seattle. The Saints experienced a tough time last season, going 0-6 with Spencer Rattler and averaging a mere 10.8 points per game. This season, they find themselves at 0-3 with a slightly improved average of 15.7 points per game, but still struggling to find their footing. While the retirement of Derek Carr has meaningful implications for the Saints' finances, it left them with fewer appealing options in the veteran market. Sticking with Rattler as a bridge to rookie second-round pick Tyler Show is part of a larger reshuffle. The Saints are currently engaged in a minor overhaul, maintaining one of the youngest offenses and an older defensive squad based on snap counts. For the first time in at least 2 decades, the Saints have kicked off a season with both their defense and special teams registering negative EPA in the first 3 games. A challenging position for any team to navigate, especially given that they are relying on a quarterback who does not rank among the top tiers of players at his position. Overall, while each team faces its own unique struggles, the common theme is clear. Significant adjustments are necessary for these franchises to transform their fortunes this season. Each of these teams has its distinct set of challenges. Which team do you think has the best chance to turn things around? And what do you believe are the underlying causes of their struggles? Share your thoughts in the comments.